Huffington Post published an article by Dylan Loewe entitled "Defining the Great Depression." Loewe argues convincingly that Obama's quick action saved the day. He points to the fact that the months Obama was sworn in, the economy lost as many jobs as the months before, namely 700,000. The credit markets had frozen, car makers and banks needed and received bailouts.
We cut taxes. We cut taxes for 95% of working families. We cut taxes for small businesses. We cut taxes for first-time home buyers.
Obama's task was to avoid a second Great Depression. Though major problems still persist, against all odds, against all obstruction, 1 year later it appears it worked. The second Great Depression was averted. Yet, nobody seems to have noticed. Hello there. Welcome back. Reading Depression in Huffington's headline, something in my brain clicked and made the connection to certain diagnostic high-tech hardware, functional magnetic resonance imaging. If you are not familiar with fMRI but are interested, I'm sure you can find literature. Functional magnetic resonance imaging is used in modern medical diagnostic as a tool to determine the modus operandi, for lack of a better word, of a brain. Here's a picture that was used in the context of an exhibition. A recent article in a medical journal described that comatose patients indeed showed a response to questions or images. Of course, that is widely documented. In my case, of course, if I see something like this, I know that a light goes on in my head, wherever that may be. My brain now, of course, had to ask the silly question whether there are regional differences in the functionality of brains, i.e., do people in California think and act different than those in Georgia? That is when it hit me. Do people in Washington, D.C. think differently than in other places of the nation? I immediately went to work and researched anything I could find on this subject. What I found was some clear evidence that there is a dramatic difference in the way Washington as a whole thinks compared to the nation, though you begin to wonder whether there is something like a virus effect. Indeed, you yourself can do some research and find, I bet my bottom dollar, evidence that will compel you to agree. Now look at this. If I interpret this here correctly, the only brain activity you can detect in a politician is when you hold money in front of him. Here, like this. Now, I'm not going to bore you with this stuff anymore, other than to update you that the Liars Club has a new member, Scott Brown of Massachusetts, who claims that the stimulus has not created one single job. He is scheduled for a free fMRI. I want to discuss an idea I have for you to make some money until you get a job. You may or may not have looked at my previous proposals. First, to start designing fashion. And the alternative, to start designing and manufacturing perfume. And finally, to open a German pancake house. I came up with another idea of getting you some money, this time even more exciting than my previous ideas. Today I want to discuss with you shortly to start your own reality show. Series, please bear with me. And no, I'm not talking about anything close to the balloon boy story. But if you think in terms of the Kardashians, I mean, please, I'm sure you have something more exciting going on. To give you some examples, teach toddlers how to read or count. Teach cats how to talk. To say, I want my mommy. An absolute fruitless venture, I promise. Eddie, come on, say mama. I want my mama. Come on, speak. Or if you're a lawyer, start exposing eBay judgments. Judgments that follow payments by an opponent in the lawsuit to elected officials, as in the cases here. Of course, you can't use the eBay logo, or Sotheby's for that matter. I think I made my point. The opportunities are endless. Find something you think is of interest and then start recording it. Once you have a sample, go look for a producer. Hopefully for a producer who has some links to TV networks. I'll see you. Have a gorgeous weekend.